All right, this is lecture number 2 for the Civil Rights Movement. We're going to focus in on Martin Luther King and then also the Freedom Riders. So Martin Luther King, as I said yesterday, he kind of rose out of uh, the Montgomery bus boycott and then kind of emerged as like a leader of the movement. So the first thing that he kind of preaches is the idea of soul force, which is nonviolent resistance. Can you learn these things from people like Jesus, Gandhi, and Thoreau? He says, "We will not hate you, but we cannot obey your unjust laws. We will soon wear you down by our capacity to suffer. And in winning our freedom, we will so appeal to your heart and conscience that we will win in the process." Okay, and just saying that you're going to feel so bad for us for the stuff that you're doing that you're going to kind of start to side with us, that they're not going to use violence in order to get their way. They're going to make you understand the problems that you're creating. He creates something called the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or the SCLC, and was carried on nonviolent crusades against the evils of second-class citizenship. African Americans felt that they were not treated equally, which they were not, and they were second-class citizens. They were not equal under the law, and so that was one of the things that they were trying to promote, is equality. And he wanted to build this from the grassroots up. So it started off on the small stage. So like the Montgomery bus boycott is an example of that, where they're just boycotting buses at a local level and then trying to change legislation at the federal level. This organization helped to form the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, also known as SNCC. And this is where college students claim that the Brown decision was taking too long, and college students would organize and kind of get together in order to try to change things. So as the movement starts to spread, we have sit-ins where black protesters sat down at lunch counters and refused to leave until they were served. People would treat them very poorly. They wouldn't serve them. They'd throw food on them. They'd swear at them, try to kick them out. And eventually television crews were brought in to reveal the racism that was going on. And again, it's mostly happening in the South, and people in the North don't understand the fact that there's such segregation in the South. So when you finally see it on TV, you're really starting to understand what's going on. So they caught these whites beating, jeering at, and pouring food over them, and these guys refused to strike back. So it was this non-violence where they would just sit there and kind of take it. So picket lines begin to form to help the protest, and it begins to spread into 48 cities within 11 states. The next thing is the Freedom Riders. This is led by a group called CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality, and they wanted to provoke a violent reaction. So their idea was to convince the Kennedy administration to enforce the desegregation of buses, and they really wanted to make people see the violence that could happen. So by inciting violence, then you're going to try to hopefully get some reaction within politics. So these buses, they get members of CORE, and it's whites and blacks, and they get on the buses up north in D.C., and they want to ride down into Alabama. So as they cross the Alabama state line, there's white racists that enter the bus with chains, brass knuckles, and pistols, and they go and they beat these people. There's another incident on Mother's Day when they entered a Birmingham bus terminal. They're beaten with pipes, and it ends the ride of bus 1, but there's still another bus. When the other bus enters Anniston, Alabama, there's 200 angry whites that attack a bus and run them out of town. A tire blows, and they smashed a window and threw a firebomb inside, and it exploded. Because of this, the bus companies refused to carry these CORE members anymore, and the SNCC members volunteered to drive the buses and take over that duty. One instance, a policeman pulled over the bus and started beating the rider, so you can see that the racism isn't just with everyday citizens. The law enforcement is doing the same thing as well, so they're not appreciated in any manner. So this forces Kennedy to send in 400 U.S. Marshals, and they are basically escorting the buses through the South. All right, here's some pictures of what's going on. So there you can see the Marshals on the bus. You can see the police escort that the bus is getting, the bus back here. And you can see them protecting the bus here as well. All right, here's the picture of the bus that was firebombed. So you can see the smoke coming out. Luckily, everyone survived that. And that's going to be it for today. Thanks.